Hello again. This video is going to be about the signing in code. Now, probably the most important thing to get once you get your pendulum and you start using it and you get some practicing. It's very important because you need to know who you're talking to is who they say they are. Basically, the code is a combination using the numbering system. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you can use that. Can you say to them, "Can you use your signing code?" And then they'll give you that password. It's like a password, really. Just so you know they are who they say they are. It can be set up for anybody. So, say for example, you've got your guides. Individual guides can have an individual code, so you know you're talking to that one. Passed over relatives, obviously if they're not busy, that is, you know, you pass over, you don't just sit on a cloud playing a harp and doing whatever you want to do. You've got work to do over there. I mean, really, this is the holiday place. You might not feel it, but it is. So, providing they're not busy, they can come and speak to you. You know, you can speak to your guides, overseers, because there's a hierarchy. Make sure that they're all doing their job, so you can speak to them. You can speak to our creator. You can speak to yourself, your higher self, because there's only a small part of you in your body, and that was quite fun to get my head around that when the entity that I was trying to get through on this was actually me. But that was yeah, there's only a very small part of you that's inside your body, so you can talk to your higher self on there, all kinds of stuff. And not really the key to all of this is just making sure that you've got that first guide, that you know your main guide, you know that you're speaking to them. There isn't anything else that you're speaking to that's going to try and get them to do what they want you to do, so to speak. So how do you know if your conversation with them's been hijacked? The answers that you get, it can be a bit off, contradictory to stuff that they've said before. Your guides will never try and induce fear in you. Say you just asked a question, I don't know, and we're going to have a kid, and then they say no, and you kind of start saying why, and they say, oh, because you're infertile, or you'll never meet anybody, or something like that. You know that's not going to, your guides won't say stuff like that. They'll always try and be positive, not induce fear into you. That's another way of telling that you're not really speaking to them. They can be contradictory, as I say, in questions that you've asked before already, and now they're saying something completely different. You can have feelings like sometimes my arm will go numb. So like as I'm speaking to somebody and then it's not my guide, my arm will start to go numb, just because they're the energy is different. The energy that they're putting into you to use the crystal is different. It's kind of stuff like that, and like pains in your head, and I think, oh man, well, pains in your head can mean lots of different stuff. But it's just general stuff like that. You kind of then it will dawn on you that there's someone else. And I mean, if you think halfway through a conversation that it's been taken over, you can ask for your code again mid conversation. What's my code? And they just don't know what to do. If you say that to an entity that's kind of took over your conversation, they ain't got a clue what to do. It will just start swinging, or maybe they've been listening in to you when your guide was signing in, and they'll know the first two parts of your code, and then they won't know the rest, and they're just like, what do I do? And then you know that again it's been took over. So that's, while I'm on that, it's very important that when your guides are signing in to the code, you don't say the code out in your head while they're signing in. So for example, the code was 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. If you're going 1 and then you go okay, and then you're thinking 2, so then they'll swing it to 2, and then you're thinking 3, and then they'll swing it through. You're giving the entity the password. So, I mean, it can be. I've caught myself a couple of times. It can be a bit difficult to not think, right, no, you've got to go that way. It's just something you've got to think of when you're doing this. And providing you don't do that, nobody's gonna over that side's gonna be able to guess what that code is. It's kind of a secret between you and whoever it is that you've set it up for. So now, if they try and get in, if there's someone there and you can't get hold of your guide and they kind of keep trying to take over the conversation, first thing, think of light coming down, and then keep saying go back to the light, and if they want to go, and that's why they're trying to take over your conversation, because they want your attention, then they'll leave. They'll take the opportunity, they'll bugger off. Now, and then you can try and sign in again. Now, if you can't sign in again after that, ask for your protector guide, providing you've asked for them. We'll go through that in a minute. They'll come down there and then they'll sort them out. You can do all this yourself, obviously, but at this state of this kind of time of the game, I suggest that you ask for a protector guide to be assigned to you, and then let them deal with it. And then later on, when you get a bit more comfortable with sending stuff back, then you can start to try and do that kind of stuff yourself. It's always better, I find, to work off your own back, learn, read books, take on other people's ideas. When you've got this, you can speak to your guides. You can then, through their advice, learn what's true and what's not, because there's a lot out there that ain't true. You know, need sage to cleanse a house, or you need a priest to get rid of a ghost. It's just whatever you believe is what you believe, and you don't need any of that. So it's just stuff like that. You know, you get somewhere to start with, roll on, learn. Even what I say, find out for yourself. You can ask your guy, was this guy Mark? You know, does he know what is kind of going on about? And they say, well, actually, blah 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 blah. Their understanding of it is different to our understanding of it, of the way the world and everything is, but they can only explain to you the way you'll be able to comprehend it. I don't know nothing as far as I'm concerned. It's just the tip of the iceberg, but you always need somewhere to start. So anyway, kind of getting off the subject now. So yep, the way it works is, if I tilt this down a little bit so you can see a bit better. Right, so first thing, you'll need somebody that's got the code already with their guide, because you need to know everything is accurate. You don't want anybody interrupting on that side of the process, because you're going to set the code up to somebody that you don't even know. So they'll have to speak to their guy, get a protector down, put a barrier up around the house, make sure that there's no entities around, that the house is clean, and basically stand guard and watch while your guide sets up the code for you. After that's done, you can then, you know that you're speaking to them, you know that is them. You can then go, right, can I have a protection guide, a healing guide if you want to do healing, a guide to help entities up into the light if that's what you want to do. You can request. They won't give it to you unless you request it. It's free will. Free will reigns all. You have to ask, then you'll get it. So, providing I'll suggest you ask for those. Certainly the protector one, and then you can then get them to sign in with a new code for you, and then you know that they're speaking to them, and then they'll advise you how to deal with this stuff. That's how I started out, and you can take it from there. You can just snowball, and you can, if you feel that in your heart somebody else needs to know this stuff, then you can then set up a code for them. Same difference, you know, and you know that you're going to be doing it right. So you're getting entity around, barrier around the house, because there's an entity specific protection, which is a barrier around the house. We'll do another video on that. So you'll ask for that, and the way it works. So we'll tilt you down now. So I'm going to ask Jessica to do a code which isn't hers, because I don't want you knowing it. So the first thing we do, so you've got your 5 fingers, so you've got 5 numbers. There'll be 4 numbers, each with a yes in the middle, because you can have the same one twice. So we'll do a code, for example, 1 2 3 4. 1 2 3 4. They'll come up with a code. So once I know that everywhere's 3, if I'm doing this for you, once you know everywhere's 3, we'll say, right. So you'll say in your head, or you can say it out loud. It doesn't really matter. Okay, can I have the first digit, please? There you go. It's going to be from number 1. Obviously, I don't say that in your head. This is just so you know what's happening. And then I'll say yes. Okay, thank you. So a circle. That means the next code is coming. So can I have the second code, please? That's number 2. Okay, okay. Yes, okay. That's number 3. Okay. Okay. Number 4. And okay. So that will then be your code for that entity. So you can ask them to do it again if you want, if you feel the need. Or you can see it's plain as day. So that then you know that code's for that entity, and if they know that code, you know that you're speaking to them. There isn't no doubt or anything like that. So obviously once you've got that set up, like I say, you want a protector entity, a guardian, someone that you can call for help. I mean, you can ask for Archangel Michael and the Knights of the Violet and Silver Flame. If you pray to them, they'll come and help you out anyway. They'll sort you out. Obviously, your beliefs on whether they exactly exist or not is probably a different matter. In my opinion, they don't. We're all 2 classes. We're either sentient or insentient. That's it. But you know, people ask for this stuff. They ask for help. So a sentient entity then turns into Archangel Michael, and then he'll come and help you. And that entity will be of the protector variety, because you know, it's like in Earth. You have doctors, nurses, dentists. You don't get a dentist to do a doctor's job. Same thing. A protector will come down. It won't be a healer, and then they'll come and sort them out. Same as a protector wouldn't come down to help you with energy healing. It's the same kind of thing. So ask for a protector if you want to do healing, like you've got Reiki or whatever. If you've got Reiki, then you'd already have a healing guide, so you can ask for signing for that. You want what I call a barrier entity to come down and put a barrier up around your house for protection. I'll say that now because that's what you just want that regardless. And the next video I do today, that will be on protection. So you've got to get those done. If you want to help souls come up to the light, they'll find you now regardless. If you're already thinking about doing this work, they'll find you. The things out there that need help, and they'll find you. There ain't no hiding away from it. There ain't no getting away from it. And it's plain and simple to do. Like I say, just think of light coming down, ask them to go into the light. You can picture like little black dots going up into the light, and then they'll be gone. Again, if you've got a guide to help you do that, that's brilliant, because you can ask them to help them. You can say, please look for my guide and go into the light, and then they'll go into the light. And providing that that's what they wanted to do, then they'll go. So yeah, healing guide if you want to do healing, a protection guide, ask for a barrier around your house, and then crack on. Read, learn, grow. Okay, so now I'll say see you later, and I'll do another video a bit later on.